Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on WGFN on Mike with Mike. And I'm excited to be back because we had a little bit of a break for the holiday for Christmas Eve. It was a Thursday, but we all kind of took the day to be with family and I was really excited. I just kind of like to recap all the different stuff that I've been doing and moving and shaking in the city. So, yeah, there's I know we have so many great photographers out there. McKinley Walker Jr. He's amazing. You see a lot of his pictures out there. We've also got Julius Chatters of JC3 Photography. He's also amazing. Ryan Asia. We haven't done a shoot yet, but he's part of RV Fashion Week. He's amazing. He just did an amazing shot of my friend Ashley Jefferson, who is the owner of VA Style Magazine, which I am the fashion editor for. So check out his work and beyond and beyond. This year, we actually were supposed to do our annual family photo shoot with my kids. We love to be able to do a family Christmas card photo shoot, but it got rained out. So shout out to Rebel Photography, one of my friends, Mary Jo. She normally does our family photo, but we will get one for 2021. So hey, Mary Jo, if you're out there watching, we're going to get scheduled with you soon, I promise. But amongst all the stuff that was going on, I had to write it down because I had so much stuff going on the last 2 weeks. I had a small social gathering at the farm because, Heather Marie Speaks also has a mini farm. And unfortunately, a fox got into my chicken coop and took out half of my flock. I was not very happy about that, but I did do a post because, I always try to twist things into a positive. And it was not, and God rest their souls, but that's part of having a farm. You lose animals sometimes. And someone told me before I even got a farm, don't get too attached to your chickens because they go quick. So do the ducks. So there you go. But we had a small holiday gathering at the farm. I did some recording, prep for something. Yeah, with Andrew Hype. So shout out to Andrew Hypes. We're going to be working on some stuff together in 2021. Christmas Eve, I got the best gift ever. My kids, we all wanted to do something to give back because it just didn't feel like Christmas. So we were able to give back to the community and kind of played a Secret Santa throughout the city in the rain and just were able to kind of give some smiles to some people that weren't in the greatest places in their life. So that was a wonderful gift to me for my kids, just an act of service and helping to shine a light in the dark world. I've done modeling and acting since I was little and noticed a lot of people were watching the outside perspective, the outside shell. People always do. They judge a book by its cover. But if they're going to capture their attention from my looks, I wanted to give them some substance. Mental health awareness has been something really close to my heart because I've lost family members to suicide, and depression, anxiety is something everybody in this world deals with. So I wanted to be able to infuse those two things together. So I'm considered a mental health advocate with some fashion infused and have been a part of RVA Fashion Week and some runways in the area and just have been able to use that platform to help bring more awareness to people, save some lives, and help people remove the stigma so they can talk about it, get the help they need, and share their story to help others too. A lot of stuff going on too. I was able to go down to the 757 for Christmas and see my family, so I was really excited about that. I had some new friends that I got together with this week. You might know them, LeVar and Lamont of Richmond, Virginia. Was able to go to dinner with them at the Hard Shell yesterday, and we had a very nice early Christmas Eve. Well, another really cool friend, Valerie, from Brexton. I want to get this right. Brexton Cole Interiors. Super cool friend. Met her and Nick. Got to try some new wine from Delaplane Winery. It was really exciting. So I've done a lot of stuff this week, but I'm more excited about connecting with a friend of mine named Joshua, who should be on the phone. Al, is he on the phone yet? Okay. We're going to talk to Joshua because he's doing some amazing things in his city. He was doing things in California, then went to Oklahoma, then was in Minneapolis, and is going back to California. But he is a mover and shaker, and he's a talk show host, a producer, nonprofit media company that he runs, so many different things out there in the world. But he's got an amazing story of overcoming alcoholism, drugs, abuse, mental health, and he's used it to share his story, bring it to the light to help others and be a voice for the voiceless. So drum roll, please, for Joshua Berglan. Joshua, are you there?
How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. I'm so excited that you were able to connect from Minneapolis. And I gave a small, brief introduction, but I want you to share with everybody what you do, what you're doing, and what is to come for you and your amazing things that you're involved in.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be on radio. It's my childhood dream was to be on radio. Grew up watching, talk shows like Oprah and Larry King, and I was an Opie and Anthony fan, and I was just even as a kid, would just sit and listen to talk radio. So anytime I get the opportunity to do this, it's like a true blessing. And yeah, of course, I have I have my own talk show, and that's great, but this is a blessing to me. So thank you for the opportunity. I'm very fortunate and blessed to have a nonprofit media organization with my lovely wife, Jessica. We started this media organization because, by the grace of God and my journey working in entertainment, I learned I came into entertainment with products. I was developing products at a skincare line, and that opened the door to me sponsoring events, and got into producing, fell into acting, got into directing, and little by little, I started learning all of these different pieces of how media worked. But what I also experienced was a lot of hardship. I mean, I raised a couple $1 million for a film, didn't get paid. I've been on set where I wouldn't compromise my values, so therefore I didn't get the part, or I got kicked off the set. And I just had all of these incredible hardships through my experience working in entertainment, and I didn't want anyone to experience that. But more importantly, for me, the reason why I even started a talk show, other than it being a childhood dream, I remember what it was like being a kid that didn't have a voice. Yeah. After being molested by 2 men when I was 7 years old, later a woman, was molested a few more times growing up, and as I got older. But I remember what it was like having somebody that was much larger than me, much bigger than me, looking at me saying, if you say a word, censor myself. But then also even in my own home, growing up with abuse, like physical abuse. Mm-hmm. And having one of those Leave It to Beaver, Ozzie and a Harriet style, families where I grew up with, I was privileged growing up. At the same time, it didn't mean trauma didn't strike our home. We looked great in portraits, we looked great on camera, we looked great at events, but behind closed doors, there was nothing but chaos and evil happening.
Yeah.
And it sucked. And I remember just, it was just an awful feeling to never feel like I had a voice. So a lot of the inspiration and the journey for my talk show, Gratitude Unfiltered. Gratitude Unfiltered was born out of a month-long, I would say, I hate to say month-long meth relapse, but it was more like a binge. And I remember on the 4th day of this meth binge, and I'm cruising for sex and drugs, and I had given up. I'd given up all hope on everything. And I remember looking down at my phone where I was looking for drugs and sex, and those of you who can read between the lines, read between the lines. But I remember God coming to me and saying, I'm not done with you yet. This is going to suck, but I want you to put a spotlight on your shadow world. You don't have the luxury of secrets anymore. I want you to put a spotlight on your shadow world, and you're going to share everything. And those of you who go back, and if you decide to look up Gratitude Unfiltered, you're going to see some pretty and crazy topics that have been discussed, but it's all true. But Gratitude Unfiltered over the last few years has been my journey with walking and discovering who I am and what I'm called to do. And that led us into creating a nonprofit media organization. Underneath it, we have a ministry, Live Mana Ministries. But the thing I'm most passionate about is Voices for the Voiceless, which is a youth program where we equip the youth with all things media training. So if you're an artist, if you're a hip-hop artist, if you're any type of musician, if you love to paint, if you're an author, if you want to have a talk show, you want to start a ministry, anything, if you have a product that you've invented and you want to learn how to get it out to the world, this ministry trains and equips the youth with everything that they need to get their message, product, brand out to the world, and also how to monetize it. I'm very passionate about this because I remember speaking at an event in Chicago. It was a Power We event. It was the most amazing special event that I've ever been a part of. But one of the things that really struck me, outside of the fact that these kids were being bussed in at 4 a.m. to go to school and not getting home until midnight, and they still had to study. I'm like, what kind of life is this? I grew up in the suburbs, man. I had a nice school, we had everything. I didn't have to bus. I walked 2 minutes and I was in school. These kids are being bussed in. How screwed up is this? But the other thing that stuck out to me that seemed brutally unfair was that people in their own home, in their own community, when those kids would speak up and said, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a musician, I want to be a teacher, their own family, their own community would say, do you think you're better than us? What's wrong with you? You're not going to amount to anything.
Wow.
When I heard that 3 years ago, it ripped my heart out.
Yeah.
And once I was blessed with getting my own, getting our own network and getting, all the things that we've been blessed with our nonprofit, I was determined to create a platform and to create a ministry that served the youth. And it didn't matter I don't care what the beliefs were, but it was to provide an opportunity and a way out of their own little personal hell for them to live the life that God created them for. Because each and every one of us, every single one of you that are listening right now, God created you for a specific purpose, regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless of COVID, regardless of anything. God created you for a specific purpose. And if I can have anything to do with elevating you to your purpose or giving a hand, offering a help, giving you a platform, giving you a word of advice, whatever it may be, any way that I can serve the youth to get them out and to live the purpose God created them for, I'm going to do it.
I love that. You're doing so much. I love that you're being able to expose some things that people don't talk about because of the shame that's attached to it. And that's part of what I do by using my platform, is to expose that and shine a light on it, because when you know the truth sets you free. And you said something to me the other day too, when we talked on the phone, about until you really truly are able to heal, you can't walk into the destiny that God has for you. And you've got to take those moments and those parts and acknowledge it, identify it, and then do something with it to make something good out of it, so that it's not something that's just stuck in the darkness and hiding there for years and then gets passed on to different generations. So I love that you're doing that. You're using your gifts to help others. That's what it's all about. It's not about shining a light on us the whole time and being, I'm the best. It's doing something about it to help other people grow and thrive, because we all rise together. So I just love that. I'm so excited about being able to have you on the air. We're going to go on a short break for just a minute, have some commercials roll through, and then we'll come back on and recap with you for a few more things. And if you stay tuned and the guests stay tuned, we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Heather Marie Speaks Talk Show on the Mic with Mike, with the Mike King Biz, here on WJFN Radio 92.7, 100.5 FM, and 820 AM. Excited to be back here. We've got a guest on the radio, Joshua, and he's been sharing a little bit about what's going on in Minneapolis. He's getting ready to go back to California to do some things. So excited to connect with him. And 2021 has some exciting things in store as well. So Joshua, you still there? Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about what's going on for the future. And I always try to give a little bit of a nugget of mental health awareness. I know people are excited about bringing in the new year. I kind of had a reality session with a few of my friends last night, because they're like, oh gosh, I can't wait for this year to be over. 2021 is right around the corner. And I said, you do realize that when the clock strikes midnight, nothing's going to change. It's exciting to say, I can't wait for 2020 to be over, but it's up to us to recognize that we have to make the best out of what we've got. And we've been given some poo with glitter on it this year that has not been as lovely. That's the classy term I'm going to use today. But in order to walk into 2021, we have to focus on the good. We've got to learn to cope in healthy ways. We have to be able to be our own motivator, our own encourager, and walk in a healthy direction. So what kind of encouragement can you give to people that might be excited about 2021, but also give them the reality of what they have to do in order to walk into a better future?
Well, I don't really celebrate holidays.
Okay.
And so the new year doesn't mean a whole lot to me, except for the people that do celebrate it. I will say this. And this is for every day of your life, not just 2021 or even looking back at the past, because 2020 was the best year of my life.
Yeah.
And how is that possible? Well, my dreams came true because I took the time away from everything to create. Mm-hmm. So one thing that I heard years ago, and this is what really, it launched my talk show, it launched everything. I heard T.D. Jakes when I lived in San Diego.
Love him.
I heard him, he was at the Rock Church, and he said, focus on the things you do have and not what you don't.
Yes.
It forces you to look around you to go, oh my gosh, I have a roof over my head, or I have this. And like that, it puts you in a state of gratitude. And a lot of people have, their own little gratitude hacks, but that simple thing, and just being grateful and acknowledging and thanking God for the things that you do have, that is the best and ultimate way to start every day.
Yeah.
And if you can start that way, it'll change everything. And another thing I want to speak to in the mental health. Look, I understand this. I mean, having experienced the different levels of trauma that I experienced over the years, but the self-inflicted trauma from the obscene amount of drug and sex abuse that I did to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was a wreck. But having diagnosed as multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder, being diagnosed with that, which has zero power over me, because I've learned how powerful truth is.
Mm-hmm.
And when God, in the Bible where it talks about the truth will set you free, I want people to learn, to really get and sit and think with, there's so many powerful layers to that statement alone, because the truth is not just about setting you free. It sets all of the people that have been held captive by your secrets free also.
Isn't that powerful?
And that is universally powerful.
Yeah.
And what I've learned, and when God came to me and said, I want you to put a spotlight on your shadow world, it didn't mean from when I was going to show people the supernatural power of truth. It wasn't for everyone to go out and start a talk show and start talking about, all their secrets. But at the same time, being able to empower people to confess the things that have burdened them. Because here's something I pray that people take with them today. Your secret is actually your gift to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody is dying. Someone is dying to hear what's going on with you.
Well, and be relatable too. Yeah.
Say again?
To have somebody be relatable to the struggles, because no one can relate to someone who's perfect. That's why I always try to say to people when they see me, I'm the furthest from perfect that you can possibly find. I might put myself together. You might see these great pictures that are edited and the lighting looks great, but that's just the shell. That's the outer shell. I've been through a lot of hell and back. And that's what's caused me to be the strong woman that I am today, is because I persevered and overcame. And I say, it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. I have been down, burned in the pile of ash. And it was the strength of God that helped me overcome it, and to be able to know that my story can help other people. So that's definitely a profound statement that you said, is that's part of self-awareness, looking in the mirror and saying, what part do I have in this that I can share to the world and help others so that people aren't hurting anymore? So I love
it
that.
Matters.
Yeah.
Your story matters.
Yep.
And
go ahead.
There's a lot of people out there too. And another thing that we do with our nonprofit that I think is important, there's a lot of people out there that have a criminal record like mine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mind you, thank God, avoided prison, but I went to jail 6 times, and I have a pretty impressive rap sheet. It's not like I can go out and go get a regular job.
Right.
And I'm fortunate that I understood and recognized my calling, that my story truly I get to do. It's my career.
Yeah.
Is my story what I've overcome, and teaching people how to do it. But there's people listening right now that have that kind of record, or they're miserable in their job. It may be very well that your purpose in this world right now is to share what God has done with your life.
Mm-hmm.
That could be your career, because I will tell you right now, I've not had a job in all along the way. My dreams have come true because I was obedient to the call inside of me.
And that's the
there's
key.
a lot of people listening that have that same opportunity.
That's definitely the key too, because I know that there's a lot of people that use spirituality and say, well, I'm just going to sit here and wait for God to provide. No, you still have to do your part. You've got to get, the motivation to share your story, or use the gifts and talents that you've got to help other people too. So thank you so much, Joshua. I'm so happy that you were able to join us on the air today, and keep shining a light, keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited to work with you more in 2021. And I do wish you all a prosperous 2021 as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So 2021 is right around the corner. I'm excited about that. I did forget to mention too, some exciting news. I was at dinner at the Boathouse this past week, and I witnessed a proposal right in front of me. It's the first time I've ever seen that.
So, my girlfriend said that. Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting it, and the guy got on his knee.
You're moseying around with wedding dresses.
Yeah.
People were questioning whether you were. Now you're
Yeah. I did. I guess I'm just kind of putting off that vibe. It made me feel good. I actually got teary-eyed. The couple shared their story that that was their 4-year anniversary. But the thing I loved the most is that I saw chivalry because it's not dead. And I hear people out there saying, I'm not going to chase any girl or I'm not going to chase any guy. People, you have to put effort in for a relationship to work. And men, women still want you to pursue them and to get chivalry, give chivalry a chance, get down on your one knee and propose because it was a beautiful thing to watch. I got teary eyed seeing it because it was genuine. It was authentic. No, I don't want to get married, but it was nice to see someone else sharing the love and celebrating love. So that was really great. And I'm excited to be able to see more people enjoying life in 2021. HeatherMarieSpeaks.com. Go on Instagram at Heather Marie Speaks and on Facebook at the Heather Marie Speaks page. Thanks, guys. You're so funny. Thanks for joining us, guys.